I'm telling you, it's the moon.
It could be the moon.
It's partially like people can feel like spatial.
I mean, the dogs howl at the moon.
For sure.
So it would make sense that it's affecting the game, you know? Good evening. I'm Dogolotto Dan, and welcome to Hardball, the show where the stats don't matter, but we've got them all, and we're going to break them down to an absurd degree to help you pick your lucky numbers for Dogolotto and fetch yourself a jackpot. Today joining me, John Berger from the Cool FM Live Sports Show. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited to be here. I love the Dogolotto, saving dogs' lives and playing Absolutely. The odds, man. I'm telling you, I never thought peanut butter and jelly. How did this not already happen?
I know. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Oh, gosh.
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about what the humans picked this week. So, for position number 1, the humans had a standout favorite, number 2, as the first pick position.
Okay.
They kind of start diverging when it comes to the second slot. They were pretty split over 9 and 7. And by the third pick position, we had basically total breakdown. We had a tie between 4 numbers for the most popular, but then trailing shortly behind was everything else. The 4 most popular for the humans this week were 10, 4, 3, and 2. So the dogs this week picked 9, 1, and 3. So in that last position spot, that 3 was in there for the humans. So they were onto something there.
Yeah, they figured something was...
That 9 also showed up, but in the wrong spot. 9 was first, not second. The humans were kind of debating with 9 and 7 in that second position. So, you know, we're starting to edge towards you guys getting the right number here and getting this jackpot.
Yeah, I think you're starting to help people hone in on the numbers that are likely to be picked.
I think so. I get at least 1 right every week.
Dude, 1 out of 10.
Is that true? I'm not even sure.
Hey.
I'm not sure. Speaking of my picks, last week I picked 10, 8, and 5. And let's see here. In fact, that was not right. I didn't get one of them right. So... yeah, sorry, Stephanie, the one person out there who listened to me and picked the number that I recommended. I will do better for you this week. I've got another pick coming up at the end of the show, and John here is also going to make a pick. So depending on whose strategy you like better, you can kind of, say, what you want to do there.
Yeah, I think I've got it in my head, and the people that are out there that are picking the odd numbers that never get picked, I think you're onto something. I think it's either we're taking the 2 different strategies. Either you go with the least popular number or you go with the most popular number.
That's true. And while we do the best we can here, the only proven strategy for winning, there's only been 1 jackpot winner. When we interviewed her about how she picked her numbers, she basically just asked her dad to pick 3 random numbers between 1 and 10, and he didn't know what it was for or anything.
Yeah.
So the only proven strategy so far is complete total randomness, or asking your dad, however you want to frame that strategy there. But I think we're going to get this nailed down one of these weeks.
Yeah. What else could you do?
My stat tables keep getting better and better, so I think our data is getting better, so our picks should start getting better.
If you've got a dog at home, maybe you ought to ask your dog.
Well, that's true. You can make your own set of balls and see what maybe the dogs are kind of doing like a hive mind thing. The people are definitely doing a hive mind thing. And the dogs, they're colluding on number 10. I wonder if that extends outside of the shelter where dogs at home know to pick 10 as well.
I think it has to do with how good of a dog they are. It's 10 out of 10.
Only good boys know which balls to pick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's probably right. Let's talk about that 10 ball. The humans did have it in the pick this week, although it was one of those disputed 4 balls from the third position, but it was still in the top percentages of what humans were picking, at least by that position framework, which is good because, the dog's all-time favorite ball at 19%, dropping to 17% over the last 4 weeks because they didn't pick it once there. But that number 10 ball still just crushing. So the humans are up to 7% picking it this week. Historically, they've been at 4, so it's kind of stabilizing out here at 6. I'd like to see that number continue to creep up. Do you have a 10 in your pick this week?
I think it's probably, no.
No?
No 10.
All right, I've got a 10 in mind, so we'll see. We'll see about that. The dogs agree with me so far.
Well, I think they agree with me. We'll see about that.
Let's see here. Ball number 4 was the most popular picked ball by the humans this week, just in overall numbers, regardless of position. So That's good. That matches with humans historically. They like 3, 4, and 7.
Yeah.
And with 3 and 4, that's good. The dogs, those are also in the upper percentiles of what the dogs like, the 3 and the 4. So they're onto something there. But with that 7 ball, it'll be interesting to see when someone finally gets that, lucky number 7.
One of my numbers is 7, so I am going with the empty number. Like, I'm going with that, opposite strategy.
All you 7 people out there, which is freaking most of you, it seems like. John, it seems to agree with you. So
it's going to land. We all know it. And then it's going to have a weird payout.
Yeah. But speaking of 7, it is tied with number 5 for the dog's least favorite ball so far.
Yeah, I'm not in a 5 mood, no.
No, we got the 5, though. We did finally get the 5. It hadn't showed up.
Oh.
We got it two rounds ago. We had the 5 finally show up, and I called it.
Oh, nice.
I called the first appearance of that. What I really like is when I'm looking at the picks, I just kind of look at it and sort it and see who's picking what and whatnot, and look for doubles and stuff.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you get like a big cluster where like 6 people will all pick the same number one week or something. Like, gosh, I hope.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the moon.
It could be the moon.
It's partially like people can feel like spatial.
I mean, the dogs howl at the moon.
For sure.
So it would make sense that it's affecting the game,
Well, 1, it's electromagnetics, and 2, it's like the light that comes out. It shows it's so bright that things can go hunting at night, and
That's
so
true.
that the small animals have to hide, and the big animals come out, and they're like.
That's what I say about why there's more crime on full moon too. You get out and you can see better.
Dude,
get away with stuff.
You live in the city with me for long enough.
The most fun part about looking at people's picks in the spreadsheet after I export it is just looking at everybody's email address. People have the funniest email addresses, man. I'm not going to put anybody on blast here on the show, don't worry, but just know, you know who you are.
I've had a few funny ones, but like I've never been. Oh man, there's some great ones that I've seen though.
Some of them really. Some of them you can be like, oh, that's probably from high school or something. Some of them you see them and you really make you wonder.
So,
all right. Well, moving on. Okay, so let's take a look at the humans pick, not just by position, but just overall here. So the most popular balls for the humans, if we were just put the most popular balls into a pick order, the humans would be picking 7, 3, 9. I don't think anyone actually picked that, but statistically those are the most popular balls in order or whatever. So that's kind of an interesting thing you could consider. Most popular dog pick, by the same metrics in order, there's some ties there. So it's either a 9 or an 8 for the first position, a 10 or a 2, and then a 4 or a 3. And so none of that lines up with that human pick. Yeah. And so there's sort of, it's sort of interesting. But the dogs do have a 3 and the humans do have a 3. Just in the humans it's second, dogs it may be third, 3 or 4 in that third position. So interesting stuff. I don't know what to make of it all.
Yeah. Well, we've had 1 jackpot, so far we're moving along. Have we had a lot of overall winners, like the minor prizes or anything like that?
We've had a few, yeah. I would say so far it's about 30% of the time we end up with someone who's got the right numbers, just not in the right order. Yeah,
man, that's awesome. I'm having so much fun watching these things. I'm serious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know a ton of people that are just like, dude, did you watch the Dogolotto? I'm like, I mean, I did. I didn't think everybody was going to watch it the way they did. It's kind of like the funny thing about sports out here locally is like people really, really like the local kids. Sports.
Dogs and free stuff is kind of a cheat code for the internet.
Oh, for sure. Well, and children, like small children and dogs are like that. You put them on the table together, and you don't even.
People are all about it.
Yeah, you could put like a wall between them and still.
100%.
Well.
Speaking of, we're doing something cool coming up a few weeks from now, mid-July. There's going to be an adoption event happening at the shelter, and we're going to be doing some live Dogolotto shenanigans there with some of the dogs. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be fun. It's not going to replace one of the regular episodes. We'll still do all the regular episodes, but midweek you'll see that, and we'll probably do some promotion for it ahead of time.
The thing I like about those is that there's so many. So some people, when they go to do a show, they hate it when there's any kind of mix-up. But when you're working with animals, there's always something. You have to be super flexible.
Well, in media in general, and then put animals on top of it, and you're bound for trouble, just like we had last week on the show.
Yes, yeah.
Not only did our sound fail, but for the first time on a real episode, it happened in practice, but for the first time on a real episode, we had a dog not pick a ball.
Yeah.
It happens. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
We made Jeff do it. Actually, we made Aiden, our intern, do it.
Did he have to put on like a suit or like ears? Or
No, he just turned his head and picked it out of the bag. He was behind the camera, but
okay. That's cool. I mean, but But the happy accidents, as like Bob Ross used to say, that's what makes the painting beautiful. And I feel the same way about videos. Like, that's how you know that it's legit, is that every one of them has a little bit of a flaw or a little bit of a thing that everybody can laugh about.
It's like those like handmade rugs where the imperfections are what make it perfect.
Yes.
Or whatever. It's human. It's still, you know.
Dude, yeah. So we're so perfect that we intentionally put flaws in.
We were talking about this out in the parking lot before I brought you in here about the dog poker. Let's get into it. It's pupping the ante. All right, let's take a look at these dog poker hands that we've got building.
Pupping the ante. I love it so much. Let's do this.
So we had Secret pick his 5th ball of the show, so he's got a full hand as well now. So Charlie and Secret both have full hands. Okay. The other dogs, we've got, have picked 3, 2, or 1 ball, depending on which dog. So they don't have full hands yet, although one of them is working on something big. We'll get there in just a second. So for Charlie, he's still holding that pair of oranges. He hasn't been back on the show. So the oranges, an orange pair is better than a yellow or a blue pair. But his first pick was an orange, so when he picks his next ball, that orange is going to drop up. If he wants to maintain that, he's going to have to pick another orange one. Or red. That would work too. The red was his last pick, so that might be a better move for him, picking a red ball. Then you have those 2 red pairs floating there for the next 3 picks, to maybe add some more to it. Secret is sitting on let's see. Secret's sitting on a pair of 3s and a pair of colors. So if Secret picked, like a yellow 3 next week or something, he'd be really, really doing something. He'd have a pair of color, or 3 of a kind, 3 of a color and 3 of a number.
Yeah,
is what Secret would be rocking there. Kahlua has got 3 picks. He's just basically building. He's got a possible straight going, a 4, 6, 9. They're all red, blue, yellow, so nothing building on a color there. Although we may put rainbow in there.
Yeah, like
if you've got a hand and you've also got one of each color, that could be, maybe put that in there somewhere. Let's see. Nerd, he's got 2, just building, nothing crazy. An orange and a yellow, an 8 and a 5. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Our dog Shower, last week we mentioned, picked 2 blue balls. Has picked another blue ball. So Shower's got 3 blue balls here, working towards not just a flush, but it's a 10, 2, and a 1, and those straights go around the world. So literally Shower's working on an impossible hand here.
Yeah, so
and it hasn't drawn a ball before this either. These are the first 3 draws are coming out as the possibility for a straight flush, which would just be insane.
See, that's the thing that people may not understand, is how statistically impossible some of these things.
I don't remember. We've got the table. I'll put the graphic up right here and show you the odds of Shower pulling this.
Yeah.
I mean, even just pulling these 3 like this is pretty insane. But,
dude, I love that.
Yeah.
But she's or he. I'm sorry. Shower's a he, right?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not 100%. I get that confused sometimes. Kalua's a girl. Kalua might be our only girl so far.
Oh man. Well, these dogs are having a great time. Every time I see them out there, I'm like, you must give them treats every single time.
Oh,
because
they love
dogs.
it. Well, Charlie, we've got videos of him from the animal shelter volunteers sitting out there on normal days when we're not Dogolotto, where he's just getting his exercise in the play yard, and he just sits in front of the ball dropper barking at it, like, where's the ball? Drop the balls. So they got to put balls in there for him and let him out. So when Charlie gets adopted, we're going to make him his own single tube ball dropper and send it home with him. They can attach it to their fence, and he can have a little ball dropper at his house.
Adopt him.
Yeah, I know. You get a free ball dropper with it. It's going to be great. We'll probably disassemble the current ball dropper because I want to update it and make a new one, and actually build his with pieces from the original.
Oh, that would be so cool, dude. Give little prizes to. Oh man, you could do a lot of different things with that ball dropper. But that's a really cool idea, man. Dan, the man with a plan.
Our only other dog in the running so far is Deuce. He's been on 1 episode. Beautiful dog. He's got a red 3, so he's building. We'll see what goes on there.
Cool.
What do we got here? Okay, time to make our recommendations. I'm going to give a little bit of info on some dog picks here, just kind of a 30,000-foot overview on the dogs. Then I'm going to let John make his pick, and then I'll make mine. So over all time, the dog's favorite balls are 10, 4, 3, and 8. By position, the dog's favorites in position 1 are either 9 or 8, position 2, 10 or 2, position 3, 4, and 3. Now, over the last few weeks, it's changed a little bit. 10, 8, and 2 are the standout favorites over the last 4 weeks. So retaining 10 and 8 from the all-time, but swapping 2 for the 4 and the 3. And then when it comes to over the last 4 weeks by position, it's sort of all over the map. We only have a few dog picks, so it kind of goes all over. But for position 1, we've got 10, 9, 8, 5. Position 2, 10, 8, 2. Position 3, 4, and 3. So that's sort of the 30,000-foot overview, what the dog's been doing long-term, what they've been doing over the last 4 weeks, sort of that rolling average, tracking any of those emerging anomalies or trends or any divergences from those long-time patterns. What do you think they're going to do this week, man?
I think the dogs are speaking to us right now, and what they're going to do. Yeah. They're all like on the same brain wavelength, and I think it's going to be 639.
639.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
639. I'm going to write that down. Hold you to it here.
Yep.
All right. Well, 3 is in the dogs' all-time picks. That's great. Okay. 6 and 9 aren't. They're not in the last 4 either. Although, by position, 9 does appear. 3 does appear. In their all-time stats, at least. Okay. So you're kind of betting on some of that overdue energy.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying
that's what I believe.
The dogs are sick of what they've been doing.
Exactly.
They're switching it up. We're going into week 9.
We've had 7 reds in a row. It's got to be black in there somewhere, right?
A black one?
Yeah, like it's got to be one off.
Oh, he's talking roulette.
Yeah,
I was confused. I was like, we don't have black balls.
Well, there's what the hell is this guy talking about? I have got so many gambling things going on in my head at any given moment. So one, I like thinking roulette. I love roulette.
You were talking about roulette before the show.
Yeah, so like sometimes you bet with a hot hand and sometimes you bet with what you think is cold. And it's like whatever you think is the most unlucky thing that everybody's been failing at. That's why the green slot on the roulette table is kind of that trick to the whole thing. It's a statistical thing too. But you put a thing on split the green. And then you pick all on, whatever black or red or whatever it is, and then you pick different numbers throughout the black and the red. That's what I do, but everybody's got their own thing, and I'm really, really good at roulette. But this kind of reminds me of roulette.
Made a last-minute change to my pick.
Oh, dude, you can't do that.
Well, you didn't tell me what yours was ahead of time.
I think I said that I was going to pick 7. I was totally picking.
Oh, you did say
I was going to go 2, 4, 7, but I was like, oh no, that. The 639, that reminds me of something. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that this time.
All right.
Usually, I'm not really good with these kinds of numbers. The 2, the 4, and the 7, that's my solid.
We got plenty of picks coming up, so plenty of time to refine your strategy.
I've only got this 1 week. So one more week on Earth.
All right, well, I am changing mine up a little bit. I know last week I said I was refining my methods, then doubled down and gave you the same number. Maybe that was a reformation of my methods. I don't know. I wasn't a double down the week before. But I am changing it more this week. So I'm still hot on this 10 and 8 situation, but I'm switching them. I want 8 in the first position, and I want 10 in the second position. And then I was going to say 4, but actually I'm taking 2 in the third position. Whoa. As the dogs. That one has replaced the 3 and the 4 over the last 4-week rolling average. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking the dogs are sniffing that one out. Yeah, I think they're getting in on that too. Number. I think they're picking up on it. They're talking about it behind the scenes, during the week when we're not there. And hopefully they're not watching the show and just conspiring against me.
Oh my God. That's what's happening.
We got the shelter workers showing them hardball, and then they're like, this is how we screw with them.
Well, so the gambling side of this, we were trying to get on like all the boards in Vegas for this thing. We were thinking this is going to, but if the dogs are cheating, what do we do then?
Nothing we can do.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the game, folks. The dogs do it. It's all about the dogs. Well, unless our intern does it.
Oh,
but he did it pretty random. He doesn't get to see what he's picking. The dogs can look right at the balls and be like, "There's the number 7. It's red. I want that this week." You know what I mean? They're not like blindfolded.
They are not blindfolded at all. No. So, oh man.
Anyways, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors: Sierra Toyota, Sierra Vista Soap Company, Eagle Plumbing, Kyle and Stephanie Nickell from Tierra, Antigua Realty.
God bless them all, man. That's
helping us do what we do, helping these dogs get adopted, investing in the community. There's nothing better.
Dude, Dogolotto, you're saving dogs. This is the thing. We're saving dogs' lives. This, you watching this, them getting all of this attention. These are pet sheltered dogs. These are not, someone's dog that we just, we're going to bring one.
And some of them been in the shelter a long time.
Yes.
6 months, a year.
And
they're great dogs.
Such great dogs. So if you're in the market to add a family member.
There's definitely no shortage of dogs here to adopt. They need homes, and a lot of them are in play group and stuff. They're friendly with other dogs, so if you're worried about that, go in and tell tell the people at the animal shelter what you're looking for. If you need a dog that's good with other dogs, good with kids, good with cats.
For sure.
Whatever it is, a dog that wants to go running with you or play with balls or sleep all day.
Yeah.
There's dogs of all kinds, and these people at the shelter really know these dogs, and they can kind of point you towards, well, go meet this one, meet that one, you know?
That's totally that's the best point, is that
Customized dog.
there are dogs of every type, and some people are like, they're like, I don't even want to go outside. I can't have a dog. So guess what? Burmese, they don't even like getting off the couch.
Yeah. There's certain dogs that are just cool, good to go. I had a sleeper, you know.
Oh, totally. They're the best.
You loved it.
Oh, we have a dog that likes sleeping in the backyard in the sun. We're like, dude, I'm not sure.
I've got a little Chihuahua mix like
Is
that.
he red?
Yeah, he's orangish. Yeah,
Okay, red dogs always love the sun.
We lived in Quartzsite, and it'd be 120 degrees, and he'd be out there just laying in the dirt, just.
No, that's
loves
a
it, man.
red dog thing. Like, this is something that should kill every other animal.
I could be out there. I'm like, dude, you have to come inside.
No, I know. They're like scorpions or like lizards. You know, they like to be in the sun.
I had another that would sleep on the porch when it was snowing.
Oh yeah, those
snow.
are.
You're like, come on. You're like,
Yeah, it's like, no, this is actually the ones that sleep on the vent where it's nice and cool.
Well, folks, that's it for the show. Thanks for joining us. Go fetch yourself a jackpot at coolfmonline.com/Dogolotto. Enter your info, pick your lucky numbers, pick my numbers. Or John's numbers, I guess, if you want. If you think it's overdue, pick John's. If you think we're going for what's hot, pick mine. And watch the show, 6 p.m. Arizona time, right here on Cool FM Live. That's it for Hardball. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, folks.